in this session, which is second session in the series on stress management techniques. Hello to everyone who has joined through Zoom directly and also is watching us at Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube through your laptops or phones. One more request, please log into these sessions more on laptops. There you will get clarity and better output. In case any issue in audio is there, please try to change the system, try to remove your earphones, or try to join again. And formally starting the session on StressBuster. In the last session, Dr. Sumit shared with us what is stress and related concepts to stress. But I also saw, and we all saw, that people were actually not trying to understand what is stress. They were more about learning what are the stress management technique. So, I thought one of the techniques is being patient. So that is what I requested to everyone, that be patient. Everything has a process attached to it. And if you do not go through process, you miss the most important points. And hence, please follow the process. Don't get into stress to learn about the stress management techniques. So let us start the session formally today. For those who have joined us new, let me just introduce in few words about Dr. Sumit Mehta, who will be teaching us the stress management techniques and clarifying our doubts regarding this. He is MBBS and MD in Psychiatry. He is working as Associate Professor in Department of Psychiatry in a Shri Guru Ram Rai Institute of Medical and Health Sciences and Indresh Mahant Hospital since July 2013 in Dehradun. He is a consultant in Department of Psychiatry in Synergy Institute of Medical Sciences in Dehradun, Uttarakhand. He is also Joint Secretary of Indian Psychiatry Society, Uttarakhand State Branch, licensed with Norwegian Medical Council, and he is also thesis guide, MD, and PhD thesis, and he has many publications to his credit too. That is in short for those who have joined this session new in this one. Welcome, Dr. Sumit.
Thank you, Dr. Swati.
So I'll not take much time. Just again, a disclaimer, those who have joined us for the first time, the earlier session, the previous session is available at Pharmacist Academy as a course. You can go through it and then also relate it with this session.
Before we take the session to take it ahead, last day what we had done, we had given the registered participants stress assessment test, and we have result of that. So that I'm just sharing with you so that you have an idea how it came out. So this is the result, and with this you can see that low level stress, like 14 participants said that they have low level stress after going through the stress assessment test, and 23 participants said that yes, they have moderate and high stress level by 26, and 7 professionals said that they have very high stress level. So one thing to note here is that in most of us, like this data is also saying around 60 or 66% of the professionals are into the category of moderate or high stress level. So it is very evident that we all face stress, some kind of stress, and this was a very scientific test, a proven test, so it could bring out the actual assessment, and then this is a proof that stress is there in our lives, and we should stress will be always there, but there are techniques to handle that. So please be patient. Today Dr. Sumit will be taking you through the those techniques, and over to you, Dr. Sumit.
Just a question before we start. Mr. Nandan asked if this course free of cost. Yes, Mr. Nandan, these 2 sessions are free of cost, and it is relayed live on our social media channels. So it will be available even at those platforms. Okay, so Dr. Sumit, won't disturb you much. Please go ahead and let us know the techniques.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Swati, again for this overwhelming introduction, and I would like to thank Pharmacist Academy for inviting me here, giving me a chance to speak on a very pertinent issue. And I will also like to welcome everyone who has joined us, those who have who have joined us from the last time, I welcome you back. And again, those who have joined us for the first time, as Dr. Satish has explained, the last session is available online. So good morning to everyone. Yeah, from various parts of the country and out of the country. I will start my session. Just a minute. Yeah. So in the last session, we learned about what is stress, what are the usual stressors we face, what can be usual stressor in our lives, how we respond differently to same situations. Some of us will be very fine in similar situation, and some of them will get kind of palpitations, severe anxiety, thought rumination in the same situation. So Dr. Swati has already given my introduction, so I don't think this study is no longer needed. But predominantly, I'm based here in Dehradun in North India, and I've been in Norway for a very brief period, but predominantly I've been working here in India itself. Coming to the main part of the session, what to do, how to manage it. We all know that we do get stressed. Again, in the poll also, we saw in the assessment which all of you did that a lot of us do suffer from stress due to various reasons, due to personal reasons, sometimes financial reasons, sometimes health reasons, sometimes professional reasons, sometimes due to interpersonal relationship problems, interpersonal problems with families, interpersonal problems with seniors, juniors at work, our bosses, our colleagues. So again, somewhere or there will always be a reason which will give us some kind of anxiety, some kind of stress, and this is prevalent throughout the world. Again, I would like to explain that those of us who suffer from stress must understand that we are not the only ones. Everyone, say whoever, say a rickshaw driver, a political leader, a stockbroker, a minister, a big businessman, everyone will have stress. Everyone will have their own reasons for stress. So again, this is not preventable. This will be there in our lives. So we should not crib upon the reasons of stress. We should be avoiding saying that I am very stressed because my boss is like that. We should be avoiding saying I am very stressed because my spouse, my wife, or my husband is like that. I am very stressed because I have a health problem in my family. All of us will have some problem, either here or there. All of us will face some issue somewhere. If you have this issue, somebody else might be having a different issue. If you have issue at your work, somebody might be having an issue at home, or issue with health, or issue with finances, or issue with friends. And I must tell you that there is no magic trick also, okay? Because our brain is wired to feel stress at times so that it can find out solutions. It can work towards solutions, but sometimes this stress can become overwhelming. It can empower us, it can also harm us, or it can lead to other mental health disorders. And I must also tell you that I am a pretty scientific person. Whatever I will be telling will be very basic things which all of you actually know, which all of you actually have been practicing here and there. But this will be a presentation in a systemic way to again revise you the ways with which human beings can naturally manage stress. I will not be mentioning any deep psychological theories. I will not be mentioning anything which probably a spiritual reader or a guruji will mention, because I am not that person. I am a pretty scientific person. I am ethically bound to mention you the ways to manage stress which are scientifically proven. So I will hope that you will take this all basic things with you after this session, and you will use some of these things, not everything, some of the 2-3 techniques, 2-3 methods to manage your day-to-day stress. That's it what I expect from you guys. I hope all of us will be moving towards a better quality of life after this session, because that is our ultimate target, to have a better quality of life. So what to do when we are in stress, how to manage it? The first basic technique is humor. All of us do use it, but we have seen with time that it is actually a great stress buster. See, when we see how people like Kapil Sharma did so well, we see how these is all the stand-up comedians, whoever they are, whoever you guys follow, have been doing so great, because they have unconsciously helping us to relieve our stress. And there is a good scientific basis behind it. Staying happy, laughing on something, cracking a joke, or even hearing a joke do produce some chemicals in our brain which help us in relieving stress. It distracts our mind from a stressful situation. Most of you will ask how to have a humorous thing when we are in stress. Sometimes we have to use the reason for stress to make a humor. For example, say if our boss is giving us some work which we do not want to do, or say is mad on us, so unconsciously or consciously, inside our mind or with our colleagues, we have to sometimes crack a sarcastic joke about the boss himself, and it will relieve our stress for some time. Nothing will take your reason for stress away that easily. That will go by itself with time. But what we are discussing here are the ways to handle stress in a better way. So having people around you which have good sense of humor is always helpful. It helps us to distract from a stressful issue. It takes away our thought of stress and diffusing the stress to some extent. And therefore, most of people will feel quite different, notice a change in mindset after laughing and being distracted by something humorous. So one of these things you can try it in day-to-day basis while managing, while you're in stressful situation. Second idea is, again, is very simple, very basic: brisk walk and self-talk. When we're in stressful situation, we can go around for a small walk, maybe in the office, maybe around the office, maybe around the home, maybe a 5-minute walk in a preferably clean green area, but sometimes it is not possible. But still, a fresh air, a smell of natural things like flowers, trees will stimulate our senses and will relieve stress to some extent. It will also give us time to think about the positives of the situation or negatives of the situation, because every stressful situation may not be negative. It might be actually positive in one or the other way. So it gives us a small break from that stressful situation. Then again, third idea is drink water. Very basic. Again, we often forget it. We all know this, that drinking water helps us in relieving stress, but we sometimes don't do it. But of course, again, scientifically proven, good hydration to brain, good hydration to heart do help us in managing stress, in relieving us mentally and physically. And again, if we drink more water, we will need to pee more, we will need to go to washroom more. So again, it will give us just 2-3 minute break from the situation. We can talk to self, we can feel relaxed. So again, drinking water in between our work will help us relieving stress to some extent. Very basic, very simple, all of us can do day-to-day basis. Some of us do this, but very helpful. Next, again, very important, what do we do usually whenever we need some extra time, whenever we have some extra work, whenever we have some extra social situation or a familial situation? We miss our sleep. We will always take time from our sleep to get some extra time in our lives. Sometimes it may be helpful if we add some physical activity, but we have found scientifically that it is always okay to take adequate sleep. Whatever is adequate for each and everyone, it is different. Some of us will need 5 hours of sleep, some of us will need 9 hours of sleep. So anything between say 5 to 9 hours or even 6 to 9 hours is normal, but we must try to find out time which is our sleeping time. We will have our adequate day. Even if we sleep for 9 hours, we still have 17 hours in the day. So, but if our sleep is adequate, we will be able to better handle those 17 hours. Our productivity will be more. So always try to get adequate time of sleep. Again, sometimes a small nap in the afternoon is helpful if possible, but not always possible. But it can also help if our sleep has been inadequate during the night. We can try this thing 10-15 minutes. It will help to reduce stress. Next, a simple tea. Whenever we are in a stressful situation, go and grab a cup of tea, specifically ginger tea if possible. But of course, I will not suggest drinking tea too much, but sometimes it is a reliever. Next, again, we all know this, but we sometimes feel that it is not good to cry. Men do not cry. We have all these myths in our population. But again, crying is not bad when the situation is bad. Just a 30-second or a 1-minute cry, if the situation is that bad, it does relieve tension. It do help a lot of people, and there are a lot of myths that crying is bad and it will suggest that we are weak, but we know that sometimes it do produce chemicals which helps relieving tension and stress. Eating healthy. We are at work, we have a lot of work, we don't have time to manage our food. What we will do? We will be again munching on snacks, munching on street foods, again putting more carbohydrate inside us, forgetting about good vitamins, good minerals, will again lead to more stress. We need to manage somehow to have a healthy diet also, along with our work, along with our day-to-day life. We must focus that our brain does need adequate vitamins, adequate minerals, adequate proteins to produce the chemicals which keep us happy. So sometimes we should focus on having a good diet. Time for yourself. People will ask me, sir, you want us to sleep adequately, you want us to focus on our meals, our diet, and of course we have work, we have family issues. How to manage time for ourselves? I do not mean that you should have say 2 hours of your time. Sometimes even 10 to 15 minutes. The me time, what we call, when you are doing something which you want to do, when you are into it, which you like, which has been your hobby. Somebody can have a hobby which he might not have been following, even say dancing, even say drawing, even the singing. As we grow up, we get busy in our jobs, our family, and we forget about what we used to like, what we used to do, what used to make us happy. So sometimes it is not bad to giving some time, say even 1 hour in a week, to do the things which we actually like, which actually make us happy. Now, again, we must ask how to manage all these things. We have so much work and we have so much issues, and then we want adequate sleep, we want time for myself. We must understand what we want to do. We must understand where we want to see ourselves, say 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line. All of us are probably busy in so much social conformities that we forgot what we want. Some of us may be interested in stockbroking, but then doesn't mean that I also want to do that. Some of us may be spending so much time on social media, say Twitter, say whatever, Instagram, but that doesn't mean that I also want to do that. So these things, by understanding our priorities, will give us extra time. Not all of us want to be very rich, not all of us want to be very famous. So we must understand what we want, what I want in my life, where I want to see myself 10 years down the line. Most of us will answer that we want to be healthy and we want our family to be healthy. That doesn't require much. That doesn't require a lot of money. So it is important to see what my priorities are, and that might be actually different from the priorities of the society. And that will help you understand that, yeah, if my priority is not that, why I'm wasting time on that? If my priority is not earning too much, why I'm wasting on time on that? If my priority is not promotion, why I'm putting so much in? Sometimes we forget that we are individual and we may want our own life, but we will keep on running for doing things which everybody has to do, and we keep on wasting time and we forget our own priorities. So it is important to understand what matters us the most, and we must reflect on our professional and personal goals to determine the level of commitment. How much effort we want to make on a particular situation, we must understand, because if something is not a big priority, then we must not be wasting too much time and we must not be putting too much effort in that particular area. The last idea, the basic idea. Again, we must understand that everything in our life will not be great. Nobody will be perfect. No job will be perfect. No boss will be perfect. No wife will be perfect. No parent will be perfect. No husband will be perfect. Sometimes we need to accept things as they are. Usually we do creep too much that this is not fine, that is not fine. But that is the life. For nobody, the situation is absolutely 100% fine. We must accept the good things of a situation and we must try to ignore bad things. Okay, he is not that good in that area, that is okay, he gives me too much work, but also he take care of say my incentives. So okay, my boss is fine, maybe he gives me too much work, but actually at least he cares for my incentives, at least he cares for my health, at least he gives me my family time. So we must develop an effort, we must develop a way to accept the good things of a situation and ignore the bad things. This will give us a kind of satisfaction. Yes, okay, the life is going smooth, not everybody's life is perfect, in fact nobody's life is perfect. So some things in your life may not be that good and some things in your life will be very good. So it is important to ignore the bad things of the life and accept what the life the way it is. These were the basic ideas which we can use day in day out to give us a break from the stress. And now I'll be again mentioning some fast stress management tips which will again help us to handle a situation which is very stressful. We must make little changes in our life which can add a feeling of relief. Say we have been working pretty hard throughout the week, but now we must find some time which can give us a break with family, maybe a small family outing, a small outing with my partner. So we must often make some small changes in our life. Take a break, again have a cold drink, get fresh air, maybe close our eyes. I have mentioned that. We must stay positive always. We must spend time with friends and family to handle the stress. And sometimes we must let others know how we are feeling. It is not nothing bad in that. We must share with people whom we trust. So it is not bad in communicating. And allow yourself to say no. I will mention the technique of saying no later on. Sometimes we need to say no. Sometimes we get into a situation when we have our professional responsibilities, then family responsibilities, then social responsibilities. But we must find out, is it that necessary to attend that particular social function? Is it that necessary to attend that particular religious occasion? So we must understand where we want to be in a particular situation. Again, to prevent stress, we must be ready for emergencies. I'm supposed to reach that particular office in half an hour. I know that usually it takes half an hour, but I also know that sometimes there can be a traffic jam. And if I get stuck and I won't be able to reach there, then my mind will blow up inside my car or inside on my vehicle or on my bike. So sometimes we need to be ready for emergencies. Emergency can be a small emergency like traffic, and it can be a big emergency like health emergency in a family. So we must be ready to prevent the future stress. Again, I mentioned prioritize. We must decide what we want to do, how we want our life to be. We can set short-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals, which thing we want to do on which day. So that will also help to manage our things better. It is nothing bad in writing down our feelings. Sometimes we are feeling very sad, nothing bad, write it down, and then we can even throw away the paper. And enjoy simple pleasures. Sometimes we look for too big pleasure which are too expensive, but sometimes even simple pleasure are even better. Sleep is so pleasurable activity. We forget that sleep is also a pleasurable activity, and we spend time in, say, earning money, say, running towards promotions, and again we get into a poor mental health. It is not bad to share your talents. All of us are having some kind of talent, so it is not bad spending time in that. We must exercise regularly. Again, eating good, I mentioned. We must not skip our breakfast, and reduce sedentary activities like spending time on mobile phone, spending time on social media, spending time on games, TV. So they are usually not helpful. Avoid extra caffeine, tea, coffee, chocolates, cola drinks. Again, not healthy food. And avoid quick remedies like alcohol or drugs. I must time management. I will mention something about time management. Usually we get into troubles because we are wasting too much of time on the issues we do not need. We are wasting too much time on say mobile phones, and then it leads to missing targets, procrastinating things. Relaxation exercise, small exercises are better, but I think any exercise is better, so we can do any exercise. We must avoid talking negative because the life will not be perfect all the time. I mentioned that we must ignore some negative parts, and we must try to talk positive. And nobody will be a perfectionist. The things will work out sometimes, they may not work out sometimes. Do have a good network of friends. The relaxing techniques I mentioned, you can use absolutely any. Even a small walk, small jog is helpful. Yoga, breathing exercises, whatever we feel like. Even visualizing a stress relieving situation is helpful at times. So what to do? How to do when we are in stress? We must sometimes seek help, specifically when the situation is very bad. I will mention the situation where we must seek help. It is not always that we must seek help from say professional. We can also seek help from a friend, from a parent, from a teacher, relative who can help us. Nothing bad in that if we trust the person. And if the situation is very bad, we must not hesitate to go to a counselor or a therapist or a psychiatrist. How to recognize that we need professional help? What will be the warning signs? A consistent deteriorating work performance. I used to do well last year, but this year again, I don't know why I'm not being able to work all the time. I'm missing targets. So that is one of the hints which we consider. Inability to sleep or excessive sleep, again a warning sign. Losing or gaining weight, not interacting, again a warning sign. We must seek professional help. Feeling tired all the time, fatigue all the time, body is not giving me energy, body is not energetic at all, again a warning sign. And persistent mood swings, again we must seek professional help. Again, some ineffective coping strategies. These are the things which we do when we are in stressful situation. We will fight, we will lead to some drugs, we will avoid the situation. These are the ineffective coping strategies, but we must replace our ineffective coping strategies with the effective coping strategies. Some of them I have already mentioned. What will be the effective coping strategies? Then the basic things, the awareness of the cause of stress. Sometimes we will see that we are in stressful situation without any reason. We are not being able to understand. I'm feeling but we must take a break for 1 or 2 minutes and ask ourselves, what is the cause of my stress? Why I'm feeling so bad from last 1 or 2 hours or 1 day, but maybe going bad. Even just understanding the situation sometimes will relieve us. And even just understanding, okay, probably I'm worried about that, but again the situation is not that bad. Okay, I understand that. It will all give us some kind of calmness in that situation, so that we can work towards a peaceful solution. Yes, I mentioned that how to say no and when to say no. We have forgot to say no. Why? Because we have been taught that no is disrespectful and insulting. We cannot say no to our friend, we cannot say no to our relatives, we cannot say no to our society members. But because we tend to value people's time, we start thinking that, okay, some guest is about to come, we must not say no. He will obviously come because he wants to come and he has said us that he will come. But and that again it will give us stress. How to manage time? We have our own obligations. So but we have to find a way of saying no. The simple technique is polite and firm and nothing bad in that. It will give us some extra time sometimes. Not every social gathering must be attended, not every religious gathering must be attended, so we must prioritize what we want to do. And if there's something which will give us some extra stress, it is nothing bad in saying no. So simple technique, firm and polite. I'm giving you examples. If we can say no at our work, simply saying I'm not the best qualified person for that job now. Normally I would have said yes, but I have few things which have come up unexpectedly. I have to deal with those first. So sometimes it is not bad in saying no. Not always, but sometimes. Again, how to manage time? We all wish that we had more time. After all, there are just 24 hours in a day, just 7 days in a week, just 365 days in a year. Simple suggestions. When we are thinking about a particular issue, usually 10 minutes are enough. We must stop worrying after 10 minutes, or we must thinking about a particular situation after 10 minutes, because then it turns counterproductive. Sometimes we do not plan enough. So even a small plan for 5 minutes will help us manage the day. So the planning can help us better organize our day, better manage our time. So it is good to have a plan and not to worry, not to think upon on the issue again and again. Thought stopping. This is a technique I mentioned last time. A lot of us feel a problem that if a stressful situation arises, all the time that thought will keep on running in my mind again and again, taking a lot of my time, giving me, say, sleepless nights. I mentioned this technique last time in the last session, but of course I will repeat it. When we are having a thought which is giving us stress consistently, we must recognize. First step is recognizing that, okay, I do not want to think on this at this time. I have thought upon this enough. Then second step is make a new thought which you really like. It can be about a movie, it can be about cricket, it can be about a travel, it can be about something which you actually like. You bring that thought in your mind and start thinking about that. So in 10-20 seconds, the good thought will go away and the stressful thought will come back again. Then again we have to recognize, oh no, I'm again thinking on that thought which is giving me stress. Again, bring a good thought, a very fascinating, a very innovative thought which you actually like. Bring that in your mind. In 2, 3, 4 efforts, the stressful thought will go away and the good thought will stick. Not in first time. After 2, 3 tries only, the stressful thought will go away and a good innovative thought. The thought has to be very innovative, which you actually like. You can think about spending time with some actor or actress, whatever you want to think. It has to be very fascinating. So then the good thought will stay and the bad thought will go away in 2, 3 efforts. Turn it off. This is the second technique. Sometimes we keep on thinking about the same topic again and again. So you can use this technique again, clearing space, technique of clearing space, to turn it off. Sit with your eyes closed. Focus on a container in front of you, and then you take everything from your mind one by one and put in that container. And then at the last you close the lid. So close your eyes. Consider a container in front of you. Take each issue from your mind. Imagine it going into that container. And at the end, put a mental lid on that container. So it will help you giving some kind of relief for that particular time. So again, I will repeat: sleep well, humor, dance and music, do things what you like, share your feeling, crying, relaxing, drinking good water are the good things to manage in stressful situation. Avoid any kind of drugs. They are not going to help you. They will be counterproductive, harmful. Again, avoiding the situation, staying alone, decrease interaction. All these are the things which we must avoid. So basic take-home messages: we must simplify our problem. Life we consider too complex, too complicated, but we forget that what we want to do, how I want to spend our life, and then you will find it little rather easier. Sometimes we will not be able to change the situation, so we must change ourselves to manage the situation better. We cannot stop the waves, but at least we can learn to swim a little bit. We must talk to ourselves, otherwise we may miss an excellent person in the world. Yeah, thank you. This is my mail ID. I am very open to any queries.
Thank you, Dr. Sumit, for quickly taking us through a lot and very good information regarding stress management techniques. There are a few questions which have been answered already in your presentation, but I think answering some of it again will help the people understand that context better. People are asking from their own context, like a student life, how to reduce stress from student life, how to remove sales stress, how to remove anxiety stress. So are there any specific types of stress and any specific technique for each sort of stress?
See, obviously not. We must understand that stress can be present in student life, in adult life. We all have our targets in our lives. Students have different targets, and the adults have different targets. So this will be part of our life. This will not go away. But again, we must manage this better. We must prioritize what we want to do. We must manage our time better. We must sleep well. In student life also, sometimes a lot of time will get wasted in spending time with friends and managing things. So again, a better balance in life, good sleep, good say healthy activities, little bit of physical activity, little bit of time off studies should help manage the things better. But again, not a problem. A lot of students do have stress, but do manage it. The better planning, better organizing things, staying calm in situations, physical activity, good sleep should help us. Not to worry. This is part of life. This will go away with time.
So you are saying that there is no specific sort of, stress and a very specific sort of relieving technique. I think whatever suits one, he should practice that one.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have mentioned a lot of things in my presentation, but we must understand that it is not possible for each person to get hold of each and everything. We must see what suits us better, what relieves us. So we must follow those things. Not everybody will be very humorous. Not everybody will get time to get adequate sleep, but we must try small things to manage our day better, have a good healthy lifestyle. That is the best treatment. Otherwise, there's things like meditation may be helpful to some, but it's not helpful for a lot of people. There are no again good studies which shows that meditation is the ultimate stress reliever, and this particular technique is the ultimate stress reliever. The basic thing is good healthy quality of life, good sleep, healthy diet, little bit of physical exercise, good hydration, staying calm in situations, prioritizing things, planning days better. These simple techniques are more helpful in long term rather than any particular technique. So
Thank
we
you,
must
Dr.
keep the things simple, life simple, have a good lifestyle. These things are more helpful rather than anything else.
Personally, for me, doing these programs on Sunday and traveling, they are the stress busters. So that is what I pursue a lot. One very good question I'll take from Abida Pathan: how to overcome negative in life in positive ways? We all sometimes get into a very negative situation. I don't know what situation he or she is in, but is there a technique which converts a negative situation and lets us think positively about that negative situation?
Again, the answer will be same. We have to stick to basics of our life. Okay, the situation will be negative. If it is negative for you, it will be negative for someone else also. And there's another concept of comparative stressors. Sometimes we must feel that is our situation the worst in the world? Okay, is there any person around us which has even worse situation than us? We'll find a lot of people. Then we will realize that okay, I have good health at least. Okay, I have good finances well managed at least. Okay, I have job at least. Some of us do not have jobs. Some of us do not have those kind of things. So whenever we will see people around us, we found that people are actually in more difficult situations. When the issue is particularly about a negative situation around us, we must try to relieve ourselves that things will improve with time. Things may be worse. Things are worse for some others. And maintain the basics. Human brain has a great resilience power. Human brain do recovers from even the worst of the stressors. but it requires basics: good sleep, healthy life schedule, managing the day, staying in work activities, interacting with people, doing things rather than thinking about it about us. This is again basic. Sometimes we spend too much time thinking about a bad situation, but when we start doing our work, when we go to work, when we start doing our day course activities, we feel a little calmer. So sometimes it is good to do the work what we are supposed to do rather than thinking about a particular situation. And it is important to understand that keep basics right all the time. The stressful situation will come and it will go, but staying healthy, uh, staying calm, keep on doing activities will help us.
Yeah, understood. And I hope the participant who asked the question also understood. I think when I hear you and looking at the questions, the best is when you are in a very negative situation, think of a person or think like, I'm not in the worst situation. There are worse situations that people are in, and I will be able to manage it and develop a positive attitude towards life. So I think that will help the person who asked this question. One question and one topic itself has come for you. Mr. Alpesh asked that saying no, it's a big topic, it's a different topic, and it needs specialized approach. So, Doctor, looking forward to how to say no in specific. I think there are, there is a hesitation which has developed inside all of us, not you, me, and everyone who is attending this session, that saying no to our parents, saying no to a professional urgent work where someone could have done the work, but no, हमारे मुंह से निकलता नहीं है. धीरे धीरे we have been conditioned like कि okay, yes ही बोलना है to any sort of, even society में no बोलना is a, वो तो ना ही कर देते हैं. So this, we want one more session from you or something from you which tells us that how to speak no, how to think about a no even.
I'll be very happy to take it if Pharmastate invites me. Of course, it is up to Pharmastate.
But you can say no to this also.
No, I do not want to say no. It is not necessary to say no every time. You must say no when you actually want to say no. So I do not want to say no. Why should I?
Wonderful. So I'll take up the next question. In stress, how to react with our senior? Immediately answer or keep calm? Okay, this is a real life situation which comes with every one of us. We are present in front of boss. He may be overreacting or he may be asking a difficult question. So shall we immediately answer or shall we keep calm?
See, but there again, it has to be according to the situation. Sometimes again, it is not bad to seek time. Okay, sometimes even 2 minutes can help us. It is nothing bad in saying no, that yes, okay, just give me 2 minutes. I will come back to you and will answer your thing. See, if you are in a presentation when you cannot go out, when you cannot move out, it is important to stay calm at that time. But you can also ask a break at that time also for just 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then think upon the issue and answer well. So it is when we are into, but probably she is talking about a little bit of performance anxiety when we are supposed to speak up somewhere. So that is a different situation altogether. When we need to do a kind of performance or kind of presentation, so how to manage any kind of stress in that situation. But if we are generally stressed and then a query from our senior comes up, then it is not bad to taking your time and just explaining to your senior that yes, give me 5 minutes, I'll come back to you, I'll answer this question, I'll give you the facts. Then meanwhile you can spend your time what will the best answer given the situation. But the situation will vary from situation to situation, the scenario will vary. So it is nothing bad in taking your time, asking for little time according to the situation.
Thanks, Doctor. One question has come regarding obsessive depressive disorder. What is obsessive depressive disorder? This is one question, Dr. Sumit.
Obsessive depressive disorder is actually there's nothing time like obsessive depressive disorder. One is obsessive compulsive disorder. Then again, there's a different depressive disorder. Sometimes they can be comorbid, present together. But again, this is about mental health disorders, probably not part of this session. But in actual terms, there's nothing like obsessive depressive disorder. Somebody may be suffering from obsessive compulsive disorder along with depression.
Okay. Okay, doctor. How can we achieve a sound sleep pattern? So any suggestion you have ki sleep
Absolutely.
early or rise early? What is the sound sleep pattern?
Yes, very good question. We call it sleep hygiene. Okay. There are some basics which we need to sleep hygiene. First of all, we need to understand what is our adequate sleeping time. Each one of us will have different adequate sleeping time. Some of us will want an adequate sleep of 6 hours. Some of us will want like 8 to 9 hours. So it's nothing bad that we understand our adequate sleeping time and our perfect sleeping hours. Perfect sleeping hours might be, some of us might be early risers who want to sleep early and get up early. Some of us might be late sleepers who want to sleep late and get up late. But again, we sometimes we need to adjust according to our profession, according to our job, according to our colleges, according to our work. And then we must, after recognizing our best sleeping hours and our total sleeping time, we must follow sleep hygiene. I will mention 4 or 5 basic things of a good sleep hygiene which will get us good sleep. First, we must do some physical activity during the day, but it must not be 2 hours before the sleeping time. Say if our sleeping time is at 10 p.m., we must not do a lot of physical activities after 8 p.m. Second, we must avoid drinking too much coffee or tea, especially in late hours. Third, we must use our bed only for sleep, so that our body acclimatizes that when we go to bed, it is sleeping time. We must avoid sitting in our bed for long if we do not want to sleep. Fourth, before sleeping, give 5 minutes to your room. Clean your bed sheet, manage your bed sheet, adjust the lighting you want, adjust the fans or whatever the temperature you want. Then when you go to sleep, if you are not getting sleep, it is not good to get up again and again for say reading book, for checking mobile phones. Of course, you can get up for the washroom, go to the washroom and come back, and it is advised not to watch time. You want to go to washroom, you go without watching your clock or your mobile and come back to sleep. It is not advised to get up and watch clock in between your sleeping hours. If you are not getting sleep, keep lying down if they are your sleeping hours, and you may get sleep late at times. That is absolutely normal with age, but do not watch clock again and again. And next is keep your sleeping hours fixed. Whatever is your sleeping time, it is always advised to get up around a fixed time and sleep around a fixed time.
Wow, this was very insightful. I'll just recap. Dr. Sumit says, if you recognize you are going to sleep at 10, do not do any physical activity after 8. So that's a very, very helpful advice. Do not drink coffee and all these things just before sleep. For bed, please use bed for only sleeping and not for sitting there and working. So this is one trend we have seen among our generation also. We generally, take our laptops and sit in the bed and start working, or take our food and sit on bed and start eating. So that should be avoided. And yes, wonderful techniques, Dr. Sumit, you have given us. One question is, Stoicism helped me in managing stress. Any opinion on that, sir? Stoicism, that's self-control and fortitude as a means of overcoming destructive emotions. So this is a scientific word that he has asked. So is it help? It helps manage stress?
See, sometimes there are a lot of techniques which we have been using to manage stress in our own ways, but I must mention there has not been any consistent studies in all these techniques. The consistent studies in stress management are only about good lifestyle, good physical activity, making healthy routines, sleeping well. So some techniques are helpful in some areas. Maybe some people use meditation, which may be helpful for some. But again, there's no consistent evidence that this particular technique or any particular technique helps a particular individual. Consistent trials have been failure. Human beings need to manage stress as they do in a basic way by good lifestyle, because stress is a part of life, and keeping lifestyle simple is always helpful. So there are no great studies about any particular technique that this technique is absolutely helpful in each and every individual. No.
Okay. So, dear participants, you are listening this information from a expert, a psychiatrist, and a constant who keeps himself constantly updated on these things. So, requesting you again, even if you are watching a lot of social media and getting into a mindset that yes, this is what everyone is doing, I shall also do it. Do not do that. You are an individual, as Dr. Sumit has time and again consistently said in both the sessions, and every technique is not for you, everything is not for everyone. Choose your mozo, I would say. So choose your things, choose your stress relieving techniques, whichever are working best for you. There is no very short solution कि हमने ये कर लिया तो हमारा stress खत्म हो जाएगा. I haven't seen any even celebrity whom we all know many celebrities who is leading a very stress-free life, for that matter. Maybe in social media they're showing they're leading very well, structured life, but stress is behind everyone, and everyone faces those stresses. Just that your support system should be good, and you should be able to, move over your stress phase. So, Dr. Sumit, would you like to? Okay, we will now open the forum for anyone who is interested in asking more questions. Dr. Sumit, we will open the forum and people may ask directly questions related to this topic. A humble request to all the participants to please stay on the topic and not ask irrelevant questions. Do not stress yourself over this, but yes, requesting you to share relevant questions. Dr. Satish, if we can open the...
Yes. So I'm unmuting. Mr. Anand sir, you can ask the question. And meanwhile, if you are having any question, you can raise hand. So we'll see the raised hand and we'll unmute accordingly. Please raise your hand if you want to interact directly.
Yeah, Mr. Anand, please ask your question.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good
I'm
afternoon.
Anand. I'm from Trivandrum, Kerala. I have a question. If I am stressed, what is the best way to get sleep fast? If I am stressed, I won't be able to sleep well. No, I won't be able to sleep. So, what is the best way to get a sleep fast when I am stressed?
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, Anand. Great that you are here with us. I will again like to mention few things. When we will be stressful, it will affect us. It will affect our sleep. It will affect how we interact with people. It may give us kind of irritability towards our loved ones, our family members. So stress do cause change in our biological behavior, like sleep, like eating patterns, like our social interactions. So that is very useful and that is very expected. There is no magic technique which will take you out of stress. As far as sleep is concerned, sleep comes from natural hormones which develop in brain and which follow a circadian rhythm. The melatonin concentration will decrease and melatonin concentration will increase accordingly. The best advice is to follow sleep hygiene daily rather than do something on a particular day when you are not getting sleep, when you are very stressed. If you have a healthy lifestyle and a healthy sleeping pattern, you will get sleep even when you are stressed. Maybe it will take some 5, 10, 15 minutes extra. That is not a problem. That is usual. You need to worry about that. I'm not getting sleep. It has been 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. That is not a problem. But if you have a healthy lifestyle, if you have a better management of your life, you should be getting a normal sleep even if you are stressed. Follow a good sleep hygiene. Keep your bed hours fixed, keep your sleeping hours fixed. Even if you are in a stressful situation, try to sleep on time. It may take maybe 10 minutes extra, but the best thing is wait for natural sleep. Sometimes some people try things which are not advised. Some people try alcohol, which is absolutely not advised. Even when you are stressed, do your physical activity routine, whatever it is, but not in the day hours. Give 5 minutes to your room before sleeping. Manage the temperature, whatever you want to, the number you want your fan to be at, and the lighting you want to be. If you're not getting sleep, keep lying down. Do not get up again and again. But if you want to go to washroom, not a problem. Do not watch clock again and again. Do not go into mobile phones again and again. Better to silent mobile phones and put into DND mode and use the natural techniques. There is nothing magic technique. Good healthy lifestyle, good sleep hygiene, good physical activity schedule, good diet will get you sleep even if you are stressed, because stress is natural. Stress is part of human body. The reason you have been caused stress maybe outside, but eventually it's a biochemical in brain which have changed, and the brain has its own ways to handle those chemicals. Even in the worst situations, say in the war situations, people do get sleep. Say in a situation when people might have lost their loved ones, they will get sleep because it is a natural body cycle. If you follow a good sleep pattern regularly, you will get sleep even when you are stressed.
Thank you, Dr. Sumit, for helping us understand the sleep and how to get it even if we are stressed. Anyone who wants to ask the question, the forum is open. Please raise your hand and we will unmute you. One question has come in the chat box meanwhile. During stress, how to overcome short-term anger issues without reacting on the other person? Okay, I think it's a good question, because short-term anger actually, causes more destruction than anything else in relations and communications and all.
Yes, yeah, again, very good question. I must say that again, this is a normal body reaction to the stress. We do get angry usually to our loved ones, which will affect our relationship with them. But we must try to manage these situations when the situation is not that bad. I'll give you a bit explanation on this. I've mentioned few techniques. Okay, I mentioned about humor, I mentioned about drinking water, I've mentioned about exercise. But when we are stressed, sometimes it will not be possible to use these techniques. I will advise you to start practicing when the situation is not that bad. For example, a situation may be giving us a lot of stress, but we must practice when the situation is not that big. We are into traffic, we are getting stressed, we are getting a little late, we are getting anxious on that, we are getting irritable. At that time, when actually it is not that big a situation, we must practice how to relieve ourselves at that time. Then with practicing, we will be able to handle situation when actually the bad situations come. So it is important to stay calm when the situation is bad, but we must do it in a practice when it is a little rather lighter situation. For example, a news is coming on the TV about some politics, some religious issues, which is giving us a kind of stress, but we must learn to ignore that particular situation and accept the things the way they are. If we'll practice in a situation which is less harmful to us, less stress giving to us, we will be able to handle the situation better when the situation is actually bad.
Wonderful example you have given us. So practicing it in a, I would say, passive manner, when there is no immediate repercussions, will help us practice it. And then in real life situations also, we may be able to handle the anger issues and instant reaction that many of us give while in stressful situations. Wonderful, Dr. Sumit. There are no more questions that I see.
Swati, I can see there is very interesting question.
Okay.
I would also seek an answer that Mr. Dipesh has asked, head massage helps in releasing stress. Is it so? Any hair oil releases stress? Or it's like sar jo tera chakraye, dil dooba jaye, something like that. Huh? Tail malish. So is that so?
It may help for some people, but rather I would say any physical activity. Head massage is a kind of physical activity, but it is pretty passive. So I will rather suggest doing active physical activity, but we can do any physical activity, jogging, yoga, say pranayam, say playing badminton. Regular physical activity will help us handle things better rather than any particular situation. So yeah, it may help some people, but not a problem. You can try that. You can keep on trying that to your individual things, but stay some physical activity in some way is rather more has rather more scientific evidence than any other particular massage or something.
One more question that I personally would like to ask is regarding a very important thing nowadays is our mobile phones, the smartphones. We are using, like everyone is having this smartphone in our hand. Is there a direct connection between stress and excessive use or watching screen on the mobile smartphones?
Absolutely. Now, see, again, smartphone is a pretty new thing. It is like 5 or 7 years maybe. So now the studies are coming up. We previously had a lot of research on internet addiction, but now that they have changed the term into smartphone addiction, we have started to gather evidence that a usage of a smartphone or in any screen for that matter for longer durations uh, is very unnatural to us. Human beings were not born to sit in front of screens, but this unnatural thing is now part of our lives. We are adapting to it, but our brains, our natural neurotransmitters will not adopt that quickly. So as far as management is concerned, I will suggest that we are into stage where we are doing research on treatments, how to handle smartphone addiction specifically, not day-to-day smartphone usage, but we have enough evidence that this long-term screen exposure is not natural to human beings, and it will cause some kind of neurotransmitter change which is not natural. So we must make an effort to keep limit on the time usage. We do have screen times nowadays in our smartphones, but long-term treatments are coming up. Currently not a lot of new treatments have come up. In the West, they are starting admitting patients with smartphone addictions for say 2-3 weeks in hospitals and slowly cut down their addictions. But we are very sure that long-term screen usage is counterproductive to brain neurotransmitters.
Well, thank you, Dr. Sumit. So please use your mobile for the right purposes, learning purposes, communicating purposes, and not be, not have a habit that a stress comes and we start scrolling. Okay, let us just, keep scrolling and scrolling. I think even 2 minutes of scrolling is okay, but what 2 ghante kab badal jata hai, no one knows. So that habit has to be broken. I'll take up a question from our LinkedIn viewership. Mr. Anup has said that, sir, can we take melatonin pill? Is it helpful or not to sleep?
And again, that is on individual basis. Of course, in this particular presentation, I will not advise any medication or anything. This particular presentation is only about how to handle day-to-day stress. Okay, how to handle day-to-day, how to have a healthy mental health lifestyle, how to prevent any mental health disorders or sleep disturbance. So that has to be seen individually. How much is the sleep disturbance, and in routine, I will not advise without consultation with a medical health professional or a psychiatrist. So this discussion, today's discussion, is not about mental health disorders and sleep disorders per se. This particular presentation is just about how to handle stress in day-to-day life, how to do small things in life so that our mental health is better. Yes, of course, you can consult any psychiatrist or even any other medical professionals to advise you. But I will not advise taking any medication without consulting any health professional.
Thank you, Dr. Sumit, because this is becoming an important subject that patients start Googling and consider Dr. Google as the trusted doctor in the world. So this disclaimer and this very important advice is regarding, pills and drugs. These things should not be taken up without proper consultation with a healthcare professional. Under his guidance, her guidance, you should be taking this up. But for general stress in all our lives, Dr. Sumit has given us a lot of very good techniques. He has shared some examples also today. And I think those who were stressed from the last session, that when the tips would be there, this session relieved your stress. And you can take up even 3 points and implement them in your life. Absolutely. You would be feeling better from today itself. Dr. Sumit, at LinkedIn, a lot of comments have come. People from Turkey, US, and all have been watching this episode, and they are complimenting you on excellent points and all. So thank you, Dr. Sumit, for taking us through this session. I believe we all learned a lot, and we will be able to implement a lot in our lives. Anything you would like to say towards the conclusion of the session?
See, the point is that we must understand that our mental health is as important as our physical health. Finally, in India, we are moving to a direction when we have started recognizing that mental health is as important as physical health, and we must do small things to prevent any kind of mental health issues in future. So finally, my advice is keep life simple, have a good healthy life routine, good healthy diet, good water intake, good sleep, little bit of physical activity daily, uh, accepting the life as it is, ignoring the bad issues in your life, and staying around the people which you actually like, doing things which you actually love. So there is no magic technique. I thought I got to know that some people were expecting some absolutely magic techniques which will take their stress away in a magic. There is nothing like that. Okay, some Guruji may advise you or some other person may advise you, but there's no evidence. The best and stress is, you may be having stress today, but it may go away tomorrow, but it will again come up for some reason in 1 year. So maintaining a healthy lifestyle throughout that year will help you that to manage that stress which will come after 1 year. uh, that is my primary advice. Good lifestyle, not going for drugs by on, not going for any technique which probably is not proven, is helpful in long term rather than looking for an immediate solution, a magic solution which will not come up.
Thank you, doctor. So there is no magic solution to stress, but these all sound magical. If implemented properly, that is what magic looks like.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sumit. One last question before everyone logs off. Please write in chat box who all are from Mumbai, because Pharmacist Academy is coming to Mumbai with a physical event in October, and we would be presenting a lot of cases, a workshop, and very good panel discussions from top pharma and healthcare professionals. So in chat box, if anyone can tell me who are all in Mumbai, please type Mumbai in the chat box.
Wow, great.
So yes, we are looking forward to engaging with you all, and join us live in Mumbai. It will be towards end of the October, and we will be hosting this physical event. We are opening the registration soon with the agenda, the panel, and the workshop also. Stay tuned with us. Stay in the WhatsApp group. We will bring more sessions towards StressBuster also, and towards all our next events which are in plan. So that is all from Pharmacist Academy. I'll sign off within a minute. Please give us a feedback how we did. In case you missed our last session, please go to Pharmacist Academy and access it. The session is recorded live there. This will also be recorded live and put up as the second part of the course. And enjoy your lives. Have a happy Sunday. Do whatever you find is stress relieving for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. We'll be ending the session. Thank you, Dr. Sumit. Thank you to all the participants who joined today. And okay, so people are asking PPT. Dear, will not be able to share the PPT because that will be a copyright of Dr. Sumit. We'll be providing the whole session recording to you, so don't worry. All the information is there. And do please fill the feedback form that we are sharing, and let us know how was our performance today. It will help us improve the further sessions. And also, this is not the end of StressBuster. This is the start. These were the 2 sessions. We are bringing more sessions like yoga sessions. We are creating social support group, professional support group for stress management. So a lot of things will be there. And yes, regarding the participation certificate, okay, yes, you will get, whoever has joined today's session will be getting the certificate by Wednesday. Okay, within 2 to 3 days, you will receive the certificate in your email ID. So we'll inform you once we send it. And we'll be signing off for now. Have a lovely, lovely day ahead. Bye for now.